Hi, I'm Sammy, and this is the Sammy's Hobbies Knitting Podcast. For those of you who are new, and I think there are quite a few of you, welcome. And if you are returning, welcome back. I am very happy to have you. I did not expect to take this long of a hiatus from filming. It's just been a little bit wild, which I'll get into, but you might notice we're in a different angle of the same living room I always record in. And that is just because today I was going for a cozy, comfy, more like laid back type of vibe. I've been traveling. We left the week before Thanksgiving and came home on Black Friday from Arizona, where my husband's family is. And so we were all over the state getting together with friends and family. And it was a whirlwind, but it was so great to spend quality time with the people that we love. And then right when we got back, I meant to record that week, but it kind of launched into chaos. I had 4 events in 1 week. I had cousins in town from out of state that we got together with. I had my next sheep to sweater class where we learned some spinning, which I can get into a little bit later. And I also had my 7th wedding anniversary that I went out to celebrate with my husband. And lastly, what else did we do? Oh, we had like a Friendsgivmas with some of our closest friends here in Minnesota. I forgot to mention, I am a knitter in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I'm originally from Minnesota and moved to Arizona in 2018, where I lived for about 6 years before moving back to Minneapolis in 2024 with my husband, and it's his first time living in this state. So it's our second winter. And it's I love having all 4 seasons. To me, it's wonderful. I love Arizona. I think it's beautiful. I think if we ever moved back, I'd be like, let's go to Flagstaff because I cannot do triple digit weather summers, Fahrenheit. So 115, I don't know, 115, 120, I don't know what that is in Celsius. Maybe I can pop it in here, but yeah, it's been great to be home, but we do miss our friends and family out of state as well. And yeah, let's see. The last thing. Oh yeah, so we had Friendsgivmas, which I made malted peanut butter pies for. I did take some vlogging footage. It might not be a lot at all, but I'll put it in kind of at the end with some of the things I've been getting up to. I really want to try making a vlog style video, but I'm learning the skill set for it, and I think mostly I just like forget to record, and or I have like time blindness, and I'm like, I have time to film these beautiful pies. We don't leave for 3 hours. And then I'm like, oh, I gotta get ready. I gotta finish this. I gotta do this. And then I'm like rushing out the door. And so I'm a work in progress, which you will also see today because unfortunately I forgot to take a couple of finished object photos. I do have some content around them, and so I'll insert those as best as I can, but I'm like, oh my gosh, please have some grace for me. I'm learning, and this is never going to be perfect. I'm never going to execute one of these podcast videos perfectly, but I'm trying the best that I can, and I just embracing a little bit of my humanity here. And so I am very sorry. I really did want beautiful photos of a couple of these items, but nevertheless, they are gifted in a way, and we'll work with what we've got. So I appreciate your patience with me as we kind of sort through some of that stuff. So I'm going to kind of finish this little recap of what's been going on quickly here, and then we'll get into finished objects. So yes, the week I got home, we had like 4 events happening. And so I was like, oh, I can't record this week. It's just a little too crazy. And we were trying to still settle back in and unpack and things like that. But then last week, I ended up coming down with this horrible, horrible cold. And I was hopeless. I was like, you would not have wanted, you would not have wanted me to record because not only like just being congested and things like that, you might still hear a little bit in my voice that I'm kind of getting over something, but my brain fog was so bad for like days. And so I just really, when I wasn't working, I was knitting and then sleeping. So that's kind of all I had going on. So yeah, I really do try to get one of these videos out every like 4 weeks or so. And that's going to be my continued plan. It just got a little bit wild. And actually I try to do 2 videos a month, but this month's just a little crazy, and there's holiday hustle and bustle, and yeah, getting sick really threw me off because I had like a ton of baking I wanted to do. I still do want to try doing a vlog style video. So hopefully that will come together in the near future and I can share some more content with you. I really also thank you for the amazing response to my video about color combinations. It was so encouraging and really fun to read the comments and kind of see things that are like kind of itching your brains when it comes to color and just talking about it, because I think it's really fun and it's like a very, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a good way that we can incorporate some of our own creativity into making when, you know, we're following a pattern, but it's like our own personality and little like twist into it. And I really love seeing combinations that people put together and kind of getting inspiration from the things that I'm surrounded by, like people's art, nature, you know, all these kinds of things. And I would love to do more of those kinds of videos in the future. I don't want to oversaturate my page with them just because I really want to talk about colors that are inspiring to me and not just coming up with combinations for the sake of content. But yeah, I will definitely be incorporating those into future videos. Maybe like one a season or something like that. That could be really fun. And so yeah, without further ado, let's get into it because I've got a lot to talk about and I'm trying to record this before I start work today. And so I'm on a little bit of a time crunch and I can for sure be yappy on here. And so thanks for sticking with me if you've made it this far. And I should have put a clip in there at the beginning, but I do timestamp my videos. So I'm like, oh, if you're ever like, gosh, I just want to see what you're making, like you can click forward. My first finished object is the Penn Shawl by Jenn Peck. This was a gift knit that I took with me to Arizona to give to my mother-in-law. I will insert a photo probably here, best I can. Also sorry for the boring gray walls. My friend is also my landlord and she's like, every time I watch your videos, she's like, we need to paint. And I'm like, I would love to. It's just been crazy. So that is out of my control at the moment, but maybe will change in the future. So it is the Penn Shawl by Jenn Peck, and this was my first ever mosaic knitting pattern. I saw it and I like instantly wanted to make it, and I instantly thought of my mother-in-law and I had like the colors in my head right away. I ended up finding the yarn at a D-Stash Bash at my local yarn store, Dandelion Fiber Company. So the teal color is from Long Dog Fiber, and the 2 contrasting colors that I used were from Madeline, Tosh. They were a superwash yarn and the teal was a sock yarn. So there was a little bit of a texture difference, but I think it turned out okay. And I picked those colors. They also match this blanket that we have. My husband's family is from northern Arizona, and the colors in this project really reminded me of northern Arizona. And so that's why I wanted to put them together for my mother-in-law. It was really well received. And let's see, it was a fingering weight mosaic knit shawl. So it was a labor of love. It took a lot of time. It was really fun because it was my first mosaic knitting project. It was all only ever increasing as well. So I really did not have a gauge to measure like how much more I had left. So I really wanted to get a jump start on this. I think I cast it on end of August 25th, and I finished it up on November 15th. The colors I used for this project were Long Dog yarn, their bounce sock in Dream a Little Dream for the teal. And then that orange color was Madeline Tosh Merino Light in the color Violin. And then the kind of sandy color was Madeline Tosh Merino Light in the color Antique Lace. Let's see if there's much else. I've talked about this project before in other videos, and so I did go into more detail there. So I don't know how much more there really is to say about this one, but I would totally recommend this pattern. The charts were laid out beautifully, and it's really enjoyable. So I would definitely, I don't know if I'd make this exact shawl again, because I don't know if I'm going to be much of a pattern repeater. So far I have not been, but I haven't done a ton of garments. But I would for sure knit one of Jenn's patterns again. I also finished 2 sets of hand knit golf club covers by Marnie Reeser. I did sets of 3. Oh my gosh, actually, I take that back. I finished 4. I brought 2 with me to Arizona. I gifted those, and I have a couple photos of the colors I used. They're like a ruby and Como blue from Cascade 220 Superwash. So it's a worsted weight golf club cover pattern. I have the other 2 sets right here. Oh, the driver for the other one's on the floor. Let me go get that. Also, I feel like I've talked about this pattern to death. And so if you have seen me talk about it on TikTok, feel free to jump ahead to the next project, because I'm like, really, how interesting are these? I do want to like share about them fully though, because they are a great gift knit. I wouldn't recommend doing 4 sets for one holiday season, but they come together pretty quickly because they're worsted weight. They're a set of 3. Even if you don't know a ton about golf, which I know like almost nothing about golf, I think these are a pretty solid gift. And I say that because my husband helped me a lot with picking the pattern, and these all went to like his friends and brother. So he helped me pick the colors too. It was kind of a cute collaboration when we were planning it out. But because I know him, I know like this is a pretty solid one to do. So this is the, I think, ruby red colorway. Let me show you. So this is a single stripe. That is for the number 1 club, which is the driver. And because at first I was like, I don't want to do stripes like that. Like, I'm like, how cute is one stripe, honestly? But it does serve a purpose. And when they're all together, I think they're much, much cuter. And then this is the 3 stripe. It is for the 3 wood golf club. And then the 5 stripe for the number 5 wood golf club. And my contrasting color for all of these was Ecru, and I used almost 1 full ball for all 4 sets together, plus the pom-poms. So if you are going to make just 1 set, you really don't need a lot of contrast color yarn. Oh yeah, so the red set we are gifting to a friend of ours that we are going to see on Christmas Day. And then this purple set is my husband's set. We got the same thing. The driver, the 3 wood, and the 5 wood. Now, I made my own modifications to these as far as the decreases on the top, which I've noted everything in my Ravelry And I have a Ravelry page for each set of these golf club covers. And you'll find the same notes in all of them. I just wanted them to be like easy to access if people are like scrolling through or whatever. I did increase 4 stitches for the ribbing on the drivers. So these are slightly bigger than everything else. And then I changed the decreases on the top of all of them. I just wanted a little bit more of like a little bit more of a decrease chunk. Because it's a free pattern, so I don't mind telling you this. She decreases like really fast, and I just didn't like how it looked. And so I changed the top of them. And everything is noted, so that when I changed the top of them, I also had to move the main color stripe, or stripes a little bit. So I think that might be all there is to say about those. And I really got to keep it moving. So those are all my finished objects. And once I cast off the first 2 sets of golf club covers, I'd been gift knitting for like a month and a half straight. Like I really thought about it. And for the last 3 months as of today, which I'm recording this on December 19th, pretty much for the last 3 months, I've been knitting for other people and not myself. So when we were getting ready to go, to fly out to Arizona, so I still got some of the brain fog happening apparently. I did want to do a cast on for myself and something small that I could knit on the plane. I also should have said this at the beginning. I meant to. I'm going to talk about my acquisitions in time with my projects because, to be honest, a lot of the time I am purchasing with the intention of using things right away. Like I don't have a ton of like stash or just like I kind of get tools as I need them too. It depends. Don't hold me to that because it depends really. But I was nervous to bring DPNs on the plane and through TSA because I was like, there's no way that they'll let me through with these like pointy metal sticks. But apparently you can just fine. A friend of mine commented, and we actually did a test knit together, and she had commented on one of my Instagram videos, and she was like, oh, I fly all the time. I've never had a problem. And I was like, oh, good to know. I guess I'll go for it. But I did buy myself some, sorry, I feel like this is all over the place. I did buy myself some 9-inch circulars in sock needles. I bought 2 sizes. So I bought the 2.5, and then they're in there. You can just barely tell. And 2.25. And so I cast on the Heartichoke. I think they're called the Heartichoke Socks. They're from the 52 Weeks of Socks book, which I actually have Kindle Unlimited, and so I found the book on there, which is where I'm using the pattern from. I also purchased this. See, the lighting is a little crazy. This Progress Keeper from Justine Gilbuena. She is an artist and I think illustrator in New York. I ordered from her to get a couple things as a birthday gift for a friend of mine, and then I was like, let me just throw on a Progress Keeper. This is actually my first ever Progress Keeper, and the intention of it on this sock, I'll show you again, is to show I was trying really hard to get on my 9-inch circulars before we like got to the airport, and so that is where I started before we took off on our trip. And most of this was knit on our trip, and then like 5 to 10 rows were knit after we got home. So I really hardly knit while we were gone. The yarn that I'm making these Heartichoke socks with is the Coast to Coast Book Tropes, the sequel collection, and this is the color Unexpected Friendship, which is super cute. So I'm really excited to keep working on these. I am not sure how I feel about the 9-inch circular needles just yet. I feel like they weren't as comfortable on my hands as DPNs are. I know a lot of people love Magic Loop as well. I personally feel like Magic Loop hurts my hands, and I always like get really tight doing Magic Loop because I'm like, I don't want any laddering, and I just have personally less of an issue on DPNs for that. Yeah, so this is my first whip of the video. Secondly, this is one we've seen before. I have not made a ton of progress on it, but I did want to show you because I want to talk about something having to do with this. This is my Rosenlund Pullover. This is obviously upside down. This is the top of the back. And I love working on this. When I came home from Arizona, I was like, I'm going to work on it for I'm going to give myself a few days of working on this before I get back to knitting the other 2 sets of golf club covers. And so I was having a great time. I was just having the best time ever. And I was like, I'm getting the hang of this. And I let my guard down, and it showed because my honeycomb cables are kind of messed up at the top there. So I do have a video I'm going to follow to kind of show me how to drop down and fix my cables, because I am not, sorry, there's a fuzz. I'm not frogging 6 rows of lace work and cable work. No, thank you. I posted about it on TikTok and I got some amazing recommendations. And so I'll link the video that was recommended to me in the description box below. And I'm going to be trying that out shortly here because I really can't wait to get back working on this. I love this pattern. I'm having the best time with it. I'm knitting this in the Knitting for Olive Merino held double in the color Dusty Olive. I think it's the most beautiful color. And yeah, I really want the finished object, but I also just have really enjoyed the process of knitting on it ever since I got the hang of it. It was a rough start, which I've talked about before. So yeah, I don't want to get too deep into that because I'm going to end up talking about this pattern to death too. But hopefully my next podcast video, there's a lot of progress on here because I have just been itching to get to it. In the interim of working on gift knits and kind of being I need to do something for myself now, I did do a gauge swatch. So this is my first gauge swatch in the round, and I didn't cut the back of it because I was like, what if I need that yarn? Listen, let's get this out of the way. I'm kind of an anxious girl. And so I'm like, I probably have more yarn than I need to make this sweater, but I also am like, what if I need to dip into the gauge swatch? This is a new to me designer, the Sabrina sweater. I think it's by Suvi Knits. And you just never know. I usually have more yarn than I need because I often crop things a little bit more than is recommended. I want them to hit me at a more flattering point. And yeah, so this is I have the label here. Circus Tonic Handmade. It's their merino possum woolen spun in the color Picante. And I've talked about this before. You should go do your own research on possum yarn. I have done mine and I feel comfortable knitting with it, but you guys, honestly, this was a dream to knit with. It feels so amazing and I'm very excited. I also wanted something a little bit more mindless. There's a little bit of cable detailing on the edges and trimmings. I don't know if that you would say, not trimmings. I don't know. There's just a subtle detail to make it kind of interesting, but then I'm I'll have my more mindless knit and my more focused knit. So I do have another acquisition to talk about so that I can talk to you about my last whip. And these are my last 2 gift knits of the year. I am making the rabbit dolls by Garland for my nieces. They're my brother and sister-in-law's little girls, and it'll be really fun. So I don't have a lot of scrap yarn or stash yarn at this phase in my knitting journey. I historically have tended to just purchase yarn as is necessary for the projects I'm working on. I only started knitting garments specifically in 2025. So yeah, I've only done a few garments, and I did end up ordering yarn for this project. I got the Drops Baby Merino and Drops Kid Silk Mohair. I think Kid Silk Mohair, both in the color beige. This is a little bit cooler toned than I anticipated it being. It's showing up very cool toned and very light on camera. But when I was trying to look at the pattern and the little clothes patterns that come with it, there's a little overalls pants pattern and a little dress pattern that come with the rabbit doll pattern. And I want to, if I can, make one of each. I need to have these done by December 26th. So I was like, well, what colors do I get to make the clothes? And I didn't want to go crazy buying yarn. And these are so small that a little yarn goes a long way. Let me get some coffee really quick. A little yarn goes a long way. And I was like, well, I knew I wanted to make brown bunnies. And I was like, oh my gosh, Spumoni gelato, Spumoni ice cream. And I did order the pistachio. Oops. I think this is the pistachio ice cream Kid Silk Mohair. And then this is Drops Flora in the color pistachio. And then this is, one of these is called light pink and the other one's just called pink. I liked that these were like a cooler toned pink. And so this is the cherry, this is the pistachio, and this is the chocolate. And I don't know if I can hold them all up together. We'll do this. I just think they're so cute. So one of the bunnies is going to get pink pants and a green dress, and the other bunny is going to get a green pants and a pink dress. And that way, it's pretty fair. They each have one garment in each color. They're 4.5 and 2.5. And I think this will be hopefully a good balance of equal colors, different garments, and that way if they want to borrow each other's or whatever, it's fine. So I will show you. I'll show you what I have so far. I have this one with its little legs on. They're not totally seamed up yet. And then I have this one who had legs yesterday, but I frogged them because I misread one of the instructions. Actually, from the visual, I kind of got it wrong and it didn't click until the second rabbit. But they honestly come together so fast. The first day I had a whole head done and then part of the body. Actually, it was less than a day. It was a quick evening because my yarn got delivered and I cast on the same day. And the next morning I got up and I finished the body and finished the head of the next one. So I had basically within 24 hours of getting the yarn, I had 2 heads and 2 bodies done. And then last night during the Spurs basketball game, I did all 4 legs, actually mostly within the second half. And then I had to undo 2 of them. But they are so quick. I think I could get, 2 done in a 1/4 of a basketball game. So I'm okay, I'll have these legs done for sure today, and then we'll see how far I can get on the arms. I also put pipe cleaners in the ears so that I could kind of fold them over or stand them straight up. I just thought it was kind of like a cute detail, but I did realize I need to be careful because you can kind of see on this one, the pipe cleaner right here. Also, sorry for my cuticles, don't look at them. Is Sorry, I'm looking at the monitor. Okay, the pipe cleaner right here is starting to poke out, so I might need to like kind of go back and finagle that a little bit because I don't want them getting like poked by the end of it. I did try to like wrap it around so that wouldn't happen. These are really cute. There's a lot of seaming, which is all done with the mohair. But also seaming is not my strong suit. And the fact that there's mohair in these hides so much. So they're not perfect, but I just think they're pretty adorable. And she has some super cute patterns, and I definitely want to keep making more as gifts for my nieces. My brother and sister-in-law do know that I'm making them. I was actually like making them at their house the other night, and I put the eyes on while I was there, and I was like, we got eyes on them, and my brother immediately knew. I don't know if any of you can relate. One of my other hobbies is also playing video games, which I'm not like very good. I play mostly like cozy games. But when I was younger, my brother had a PlayStation 2 and we played Star Wars Battlefront and Battlefront 2, and he immediately knew I was referencing that and started like listing off the other things like that they say in the game, like I got your 6 and all this stuff. So, but I was like kind of laughing to myself because I thought that was a funny little joke that was mostly for me, but then he heard me. So anyway, these are my last work in progress that I have for you. I did have a sheep to sweater class a couple days after getting back from Arizona, and that was our first spinning class that we did. It was only a couple of us, but it was so fun and so cozy. And it was like noon on a Sunday, and we're like, let's have whiskey and spin fiber. And our teacher, Allie, brought her spinning wheel, and the gal who hosted us also had her own spinning wheel. And then my sister-in-law and I were the two students that were attending this course, and we have a robot e-spinner situation. I'll link it in the comments because I can never remember like the full name of it, but we just call it our spinning robot. And so we got to practice on each one. I really loved the wheel, and I was like, do I need to get a spinning wheel? And I think the answer is yes, but the answer is also not now. So that is something I will be trying to keep my eyes peeled for on Facebook Marketplace. And I think it's also kind of tricky to look for a spinning wheel because you want to make sure it's like a yarn spinning wheel, a wool spinning wheel, as opposed to a linen one. But Allie is my go-to person that I will be asking, hey, is this one okay? And see what she says. She also is the best, and when she sees things on Facebook Marketplace that are a good thing, like a tool that we need for our class or whatever, she sends it to our group text. And so that's come in handy a couple times. But I also learned from spinning in that class, I should have skirted more out. Like I should have pulled more stuff out and like composted more of the wool from my fleece when we first started this whole thing. And I also learned that I should be a little bit more thorough with my carding. I'm going to go back through and card more. I just want to get some more of the vegetable matter, the VM, out of my fleece because it does really impact the spinning process. And I was like, okay, lesson learned. I think you get the fleece, or for me, I got it and I was like, oh, this is so much yarn. And then like you kind of feel like everything you pull out of it, you're like, what a waste of yarn. That could be yarn. But really, for the sake of a headache, you are going to have so much yarn and wool to work with from a fleece, even after you pull out all those bits and stuff. So anything like matted, anything with like heavy VM, it's like just pull it out and compost it. Yeah, I tried to be really precious about it. And then now that I'm at this phase, I'm like, I get why we should have been less precious about it. And she did warn us. I just had to learn the hard way. I did walk away with my very first little tiny hank of yarn from that class, and she's a real cutie. I will show you. And it's also like I have to keep this forever, right? Because it's just like also one day I'll look back and see how far I've come. So this is my first hank of yarn, and she's a little interesting, but she's beautiful. And yeah, this is honestly only about like 6 yards of yarn. And there's some hay in there. I don't know yet, you can see it. So that was really fun. And I am looking forward to practicing my spinning skills a little bit more in 2026. I also have to laugh because in this video, I feel like I'm talking about so many other projects that were on my fall making plans, and thinking back to that video, I just had no idea what I was in for. First, I thought I would have this sweater done. I thought I would have this sweater done. I was just gift knitting for 3 months, you guys. I I have to have a little bit of like humble pie when I think about that video, and honestly, it made me not want to make a winter knitting plans video. I am definitely team like we like learn new information and we like pivot and move forward, and things don't always go to plan. And I just was like, yeah, I feel like if I made a winter knitting plans video, it would just be a repeat of half of my fall knitting plans video. But there's also so many like gorgeous patterns that have come out recently that I just like love, and they're ones that everyone's talking about. It's like the Harvest Flower sweater by Jessie Made Designs. Oh, the loon sweater. You guys, I'm from Minnesota. The loon is our state bird. Like, I'm making that sweater. I grew up seeing loons on the lake at my grandparents' house, like with my dad, you know? So that's happening. I would think about making it for my dad, but I don't think he is a sweater guy, honestly. Which is okay. That's fine. I should be done with gift knits. No, I shouldn't be done. I actually do have some gift knits to like make for the new year, but they're gonna be like smaller and faster, and just less of them. So I say I'm gonna be done with gift knits, but I'm really not. So for sure I'm gonna be making the loon sweater at some point. I would love to make the Harvest Flower sweater at some point. And I'm going to finish up my Rosenlund. I'm going to do my Sabrina sweater. And we'll see. That might take me through half the year, like alone. I have no idea. I just was like, you know what? I really shouldn't. I have no business making one of those videos. And I don't think I'm a make 9 girly either, because there's just so many beautiful patterns that come out, and like life happens, and we get busy and we slow down and we have different seasons. So I'm just like, yeah, it's going to be what it's going to be. So maybe in the future I'll start making those kinds of videos again, but I'm not sure. Let's talk about some other hobbies really quick. I am still doing my Quicksilver re-listen. I'm like probably 60% through that, and then I'll start Brimstone. I panicked and was like, I can't start it yet because it's a very highly anticipated release, and the last book that I had that with was for Onyx Storm, which I loved and I ate it up. And then for the better part of this year, like, I went into the biggest reading slump. After reading Onyx Storm, I went into the biggest reading slump, and I like just nothing was hitting the mark for me. And I finally got out of that like a month or two ago, probably beginning of November, I think. And then I was like, oh my gosh, is that going to happen to me after Brimstone too? I don't think it will, but I just had to like mentally sort through that because I was like, I'm going to get this book. I'm going to start reading it. Actually, I should show it to you because it's so beautiful. So I did not come right back. I ran into a little bit of a technical issue while I was trying to record that, and then I had to start work. So it's much later in the day. The sun is going down. We are in my artificial lighting. I've got like 2 lamps on, which is kind of the vibe in here at night. I feel like it shows up. It looks weird. I have like a huge shadow behind me. But bear with me. I also tried recording this before and I got so rambly and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't want to be so incohesive that I'm like impossible to follow and understand. So I was getting into talking about some of my other hobbies. I think I was talking about Quicksilver and Brimstone right where we left off. And because I remember getting up to get my book so I could show you guys. So if you were here for the knitting, thank you so much. This is where that part is going to end, and I'm going to talk about just things like what I'm reading. I want to talk about baking, especially holiday baking, a little bit of makeup, and a little bit of video games. So if you're not here for that stuff, that is totally fine. And I will see you next time. Thank you for watching. If you are here and want to hear about those things, please let me know. I love talking about them. And I'm just like, part of me is like, who in their right mind wants to hear you yap about these things? But also, I would want to hear someone talk about these things. And I think a lot of knitters do talk about what they're reading. But yeah, I called this channel Sammy's Hobbies for a reason and want to share about them if you'll have me. So, I'm going to quit yammering on about that and actually get back to the book. So I wanted to show you, I had pre-ordered the special edition of Brimstone, which just has this like metallic foiling on the cover. And I don't know if this is technically a sprayed edge. And but it's got like a orangey, I'm trying to get it. I'm looking down here because that's where my monitor is, but yeah, it's more like orangey on the edges, like an orangey metallic. And it has, let me take this dust cover off. I assume that that is onyx on the front cover and this artwork on the inside, which I'm like, does the regular edition have the artwork on the inside? I actually don't know. And then I believe here again is onyx and a little OSHA. So I wanted to show you that because I love to see those types of things when other people share them. So I will be starting that one maybe before the end of the year here. I'll keep you updated if you are curious. If you are also reading it, let me know, but don't tell me anything about the book because I'm so anti-spoiler and I haven't seen anything about it so far. So I think I was just like very busy. Like it came out and we got on the plane. So I just like was not on my phone that week. I was not knitting that week. It was a lot of fun, but I kind of like disappeared for a second there. While we were traveling. I also wanted to touch base a little bit about holiday baking. I am so bummed because when I got sick, it kind of took away a lot of the time that I was planning to do some baking. I feel like we left and it snowed while we were gone. So we came home to this like winter wonderland and we just got like more snow after we got home, and a friend of mine was like, what are your guys's favorite Christmas cookie recipes? I just want to bake like a million cookies and like freeze them and take them out and at Christmas, and like her grandma did that. And I was like, hang on, I want to make these things, because everyone was sharing like their best cookie recipes and sending links, and I was like saving them like mad. So, and I was like, let me go and like stock up on everything I need to bake, because I do feel like every year there's this dog in me that's like, oh, it's the holidays, we're baking. So I just wanted to chat with you about a couple of the things that I make and highlight some of the bakers that I really like their recipes. I think I talked about the malted peanut butter pies. There's another recipe I make from that same gal, so I will talk about that. I did already make one type of cookie a couple weeks ago. This is the cookie book. I got it back in like 2018, and it is by Rebecca Firth. She's also known as the Displaced Housewife on Instagram. And this baking book like changed how I bake for the better. Like, I feel like it really leveled me up. She has some things that she shares about like tips and things like that, and why she does things the way that she does. And she also has some niche ingredients. Like, I've had to procure a couple things that like you wouldn't necessarily find at your regular grocery store, but do they turn out phenomenal every time? Yes. And my favorite chocolate chip cookie recipe is in here as well. So she has a section for holiday baking, and every year, well, no, I shouldn't say that, because I haven't made these in a couple years. Almost every year I make I don't want to show you like the whole recipe. How do I do this? Can I like fold it in on itself? These are the eggnog snickerdoodle cookies, which just look kind of simple, but they are delicious. And even if you're not an eggnog person, my husband is not so much an eggnog guy, but he loves a snickerdoodle, and he really likes these cookies. So they are flavored with some rum extract, some nutmeg, and cinnamon, and that's really where the eggnog part comes from. Highly, highly recommend this. She also has the cake book, the cookie book, and the cake book, and that is a phenomenal book as well. Her sections in this book, let me tell you, they're so cute. Hella chocolate chip cookies, which my favorite is the big ass olive oil chocolate chip cookies. Cozy classics, jazz hands, which is kind of like the ones that are fancier, the ones that you go like they're like a really like impressive cookie. I honestly haven't made any from that section, I don't think. There's dazzling drop cookies, the ultimate holiday cookie exchange cookies, which, okay, genius idea. My sister-in-law has been talking to me about for next year doing a cookie advent, which, by the way, I've never had an advent calendar ever in my life. And I keep seeing all these why did I say that weird? I keep seeing all these Vlogmas advent calendars for makers, like especially ones with like mini skeins and stuff like that, and that chocolate ones, jams. My friend and my brother both have a cheese advent. And I'm like, why have I never had an advent before? I think I would love it. I do see some of the yarn ones though, and I am like, oh, am I a little bit too selective to have an advent calendar like this? Like, I'd need to know the vibe before ordering it. So I don't know, but I'm like, maybe next year I get an advent. I don't know, that could be really fun. But my sister-in-law was like, we should get together and we all make a couple kinds of cookies and we do a Christmas advent amongst our friends. If there's like 8 of us or whatever, like we each make three kinds of cookies. You make enough that I think everyone and their partner could have one or something like that. Then you put it in the freezer and every day you get a new cookie. Like, brilliant. All the credit for that idea goes to Anna because it was her idea and I just love it and think it's phenomenal. Did I finish going over these sections? They're just so cute. Get stuffed. So your sandwich cookies or, whatever. And then heavenly bar cookies. So those are the sections. Very, very good. Very cute book. It's a vibe. I also, for the last 9 years, I believe, have learned how to make, wow, has it been 9 years? I think it has. I've learned how to make cardamom bread. This is something that my grandma always had cardamom bread, especially at Christmas. And, but she would like buy hers from the grocery store, the grocery store bakery section. And, I was like, you know what? I want to learn how to make it. And so I did. And now it is like the thing people request for me to bring. The people, as in like my parents, especially if my grandma's going to be there because it's like nostalgic for her. I don't even know the original recipe that I found that I used to make it, but I also like I flopped my first time. I did not know how to make anything bread related at the time. And then I like went on Facebook and I was like, hey, anybody have a good cardamom bread recipe? And someone reached out to me and they were like, I'm not going to give you my recipe because I think it's like a family thing. And she's like, but let me help you. Let me go through the recipe you have and like, let's figure this out. And so sent it to her. She sent me like all this feedback of things that she'd modify. And honestly, it's so different from the original recipe that I like, even if I like put the recipe in, which I wouldn't be able to find again, it's not the bread that I make. So I have it written down in my recipe tin. My cardamom bread recipe. That's not 100%. It's not quite original because it came from somewhere, but I don't know where. So I do like to make that. I did show you the malted peanut butter pie, or I told you about the malted peanut butter pie. This is the pie I made. This is a little magazine from Joy the Baker. She came out with this holiday recipe magazine catalog. I don't quite know, but I bought it because she posted these on Instagram, these lemon poppy seed rolls, and I was like, I need that. So I ordered this. These are such a great recipe for Christmas Eve because you put them all together and then you put them in the fridge overnight, and then take them out in the morning to finish proofing. And then you have like a beautiful, warm, delicious roll Christmas morning. I also have modified this recipe to make cinnamon rolls with a cream cheese frosting. So no citrus, no poppy seed, just a good old cinnamon roll. And I made the cinnamon roll version like 3 times in the last 2 months, and I've never heard a bad review on them. Yeah, with a cream cheese frosting. I can't remember if I said that, but I really like Joy the Baker. My baking plans going forward are, I did find a recipe that I have not tried. I will link it below. I'll link everything I talk about or like put details in if I can't link it. I found a recipe for a pistachio sugar cookie, and I love pistachio so much, and so I instantly was like, I'm getting the stuff to make this. I had to order raw pistachios, and I ordered pistachio extract. So I'm very excited to make those. My husband is not a big pistachio fan, but I'm bringing them to like a family function. There will be people there who will eat them. I also want to make like a molasses based cookie, like a molasses crinkle type of cookie or ginger molasses cookie still this year. So we'll see if I get to that. And a lot of times I think I want like a chocolate option too, potentially. We'll see. I'm not quite sure what all I'll get to. And any cookie content will not be in this video because I am trying to get this edited and posted for you guys as quickly as I possibly can. Maybe like I'll put a couple clips of the stuff I've already made at the end here. I can't remember if I said this before. I do want to try my hand at vlogging. I just like have time blindness and am bad at trying to execute everything and film at the same time. We'll see if I can get around to posting a vlog type of video at some point. Yeah, what else? Quickly, I want to just touch on like a couple more things. I have definitely been feeling more into like the gaming type of vibe. I think part of that might be because my knits have mostly been just gift knit focused, like so gift knit heavy. It just makes it feel like a little bit less relaxing. And I don't want the people I'm gifting to feel like, oh wow, this was like a real drag for her to make, so glad I have it. Because that's not the case. I wouldn't have even wanted to make them if that was like my motivation, you know? I think there's a duality and there's nuance of like, this is my hobby and it's for me. And I also love the idea of like gifting something handmade with all that like energy put into it. I think I have had just too many gift knits on the list this year. I'm going to be evaluating that a little bit more going forward. I'm not going to say like no gift knits ever. I think I've said this. I have a couple gift knits I need to be making in the new year, which I just think more balance is like what I need. Because other people with their hobbies, like my husband plays video games, he's a drummer, he's a golfer, and none of those things are really necessarily like for other people. I'm like, this hobby is for me, but I don't know. It's complicated and I'm not probably explaining it perfectly, but I think part of all my gift knitting has made me want to like have another version of escape. And like, I'm like, oh, I want to pick up my cozy gaming again. Like the Animal Crossing update's coming out next month. I love Animal Crossing. I'm a Stardew Valley girl. I just picked up Disney Dreamlight Valley again. One game, I started it and then it got taken off of the subscription thing we had. Is Spiritfarer, which I know is like not a new game at all, but I really enjoyed it. That's video games. That's kind of the vibe of video games that I play. And then I did want to show you this makeup palette that I got. I ordered it. It came out on Black Friday and it is from Cosmic Beauty. It is their Death palette. And pretty much as soon as I saw the packaging, I was like, oh, that's gonna be mine. It's their makeup, their eyeshadow specifically is unbelievable. I got my first palette from them in August, and my first two palettes from them in August, and now I have four, and they are an indie makeup brand in the UK. Their quality for the price is crazy. Like it is a nice product, and you do pay for it, but in comparison, to be honest, this is the most expensive eyeshadow I own, but from what I've heard, for these types of qualities, a lot of people pay way more. So I will show you, this is kind of a bold palette for your first look at them. I have a couple palettes that are a little bit more neutral, but I will tell you why I had to have this one. Okay, so like the purples are outside of my comfort zone for sure, but these reds, let me see. I'm looking in my monitor, so bear with me. These reds right here are gorgeous. This one looks kind of brown on camera, but it is like this dark, like this is morbid, but like dried blood looking type of red, which I do have it on actually right now. I just think this is so pretty, and the lighting kind of sucks, so I'm sorry about that, but I was really excited to get it. I also had some Christmas caroling last weekend. I joined a caroling group this year and it was so fun. We went to these like Christmas markets, like we were scheduled to go sing at these Christmas markets. And so I got that palette right before and I was like, let me do a red look. Because reds are kind of hard to nail when it comes to eyeshadow because of how they blend out. They like often turn pinky. This was great. They were phenomenal. It was very fun. So I love doing a bold eyeshadow look like from time to time. I'm not really a clean girl type of girl. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but if I'm ever like more neutral, it's just because I probably didn't have time or energy to do it. to do it. But I don't know. It has its time. It has its moments that I would do a more neutral type of look. So that's enough about me yapping on and on and on about everything else under the sun. Please let me know if you care or are interested in that like at all, because I love to chat about it. I love talking about these types of things and like other hobbies aside from fiber arts. And I love talking about fiber arts, and that's why I created this channel in the first place. So, sorry about the lighting situation and the timing. Thank you for being gracious with me today, and just letting this be a more chilled, like, sit on the couch in our PJs type of vibe. I appreciate it so much. I hope that you are having a beautiful day, and happy making.